Okay, now what I'm going to show us is how we can use roots to solve equations. So this is a little bit more advanced work, but I think we can do it because we're here and we've been talking about roots, square roots and cube roots, etc. And we've been working on our algebra, so I think we're ready for it. So our first problem I'm going to give us is x squared equals 49. Now hopefully you're already looking and going, oh, well, I know that because what number squared equals 49? Pretty solid. But just follow along for a moment. And what we're going to do is we're going to take it that x squared equals 49, and I'm going to put the radical sign over both. So I'm looking for the square root of x squared and equal to the square root of 49. It's almost like in algebra when whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. Well, that's going to be my process. So I'm going to look for the square root of 49 and look for the square root of x squared and look for the square root of 49. So when I do that as a process, I get, what's the square root of x squared? Well, hopefully you can already see that that is x times x. So the square root is x equals, and then 49, this is, my squares are 7 times 7, right? So therefore, what comes out of the house, and therefore 7 is the square root of 49. So my final answer for this equation is x equals 7. I'm going to try another one like that. What about if I had the cube root? X to the third power equals 8. The cube root. So again, you could be saying to yourself, what number times itself 3 times gives me 8? And I'm just getting calls left, right, and center. Sorry, guys. Hold on. Okay, so hopefully you've looked at it. You already know. We've been working on this already several times, but as a process, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask for the cube root of x to the third power equals the cube root of 8. And then when I do thus, I know that x times, this is x squared to the third power, cubed is x times x times x. And I know that 8, the cube root of 8, is 2 times 2 times 2, and therefore x equals 2. Okay, so that's if you see one like that as an equation. Those seem pretty straightforward, but what if they get a little bit more complex? So now let's look if we have, hopefully you can see this. Try to move that out of the way. So we have x squared plus 2 equals 18. X squared plus 2 equals 18. Now, the first thing I want to do is just do my basic algebra and isolate the variable. So my first step is to move this term over the bridge, over the rainbow bridge, so that I get x squared equals 18 minus 2. Yep. And then my answer here becomes x squared equals 16. Well, I can already see, can't you? What number squared equals 16? But I'm going to go through my process here and I'm looking for the square root of x squared, and that's going to equal the square root of 16. I'm going to do both of those, find those. And when I do, I know that x times x squared is x times x. Therefore, that's x equals, and the square root of 16 is 4 times 4. Well, 16 is made up of the squares, 4 times 4. So the square root is 4. And my final answer is x equals 4. And that's the answer for this equation here. And you can plug it back in. So you got your x equals 4, and you can substitute the 4 for x. And you get 4 squared, which is 16, plus 2 equals 18. Yes, it does. Boom. Got it right. Nice and easy. Let's look at another one. What about, try this one. Let's try x to the third power plus 5 plus 4 equals 5. X to the third power. Now we've got a cube in here, but we're going to do all the same process. I'm going to do my algebra first. So I'm going to move this term, positive 4, over the bridge till it becomes a negative 4. So we've got x to the third power equals 5 minus 4. And then I've got x to the third power equals 5 minus 4, 1. And I'm asking myself, what number, x to the third power, and is the cube root of x to the third power? What is it? Well, it's going to be x, isn't it? You could already see that, because x times x times x is x to the third power, so it's x. And then what is the cube root? Remember, these are cube roots. Cube root of 1. Well, hopefully you know that 1 times 1 times 1 equals 1. So we're going to get that. So the cube root, our final answer to this particular equation, is x equals 1. And go back, you can substitute 1 for your x to the third power. So 1 times 1 times 1 is 1, plus 4 equals 5. Yes, it does. Boom. So there you go. That's pretty much everything you're going to encounter, I believe, in this homework this week. So I'll be going over that on the next time that I see you. And you can ask any questions. Hopefully you're all watching the video and following along.